This video I'm making a foyer table using 1/4 ash. I always start by cutting my ash down to at least 6 inches. That's what my joiner is, and I run it through the joiner facing one side nice and smooth. Then after that I take it through the planer and plane it down to roughly the dimension I'm wanting. Now where I'm gluing these boards together, I don't quite take them down to the dimension. I take them down to roughly 2 inches. That way I can join them, or I'm sorry, I can plane them, and I can get that nice even thickness all the way across after I glue them. And after that very first run through the planer, I take the ends or the edge of the boards and run it through my joiner, get a good square end. After that, I took these boards over to my table saw and cut these boards down to 5 inches. This foyer table is going to be 15 inches wide, so 3 pieces of 5 is what I need. Once these boards were cut down to size, I went through, got my clamps ready, and glued these boards together. Now I'm gluing 3 sections of 2 boards. That way that will fit through my planer, as the full 15 inches will not fit through my planer. So these are going to be two boards glued, so that's going to be 10 inches wide on these 2 sections. With it being cold temperatures, I let the board stay in the clamps overnight, and I took them out and run them through the planer down to 1 3/4 inches. Once they were planed down to size, I glued the 3rd board that I had already planed down to 1 3/4 inches to these 2 boards to get the 15-inch wide board that I was needing. And once again, I let these boards set overnight in the clamps. With this cold weather, that's really your only option for it to dry very well. So once these clamps were out, these boards were out of these clamps, I went through, I wanted to square up the ends. Now I always leave these boards, anytime I do a panel like this, I do them longer than I need. That way, with very little regard to squaring them up. That way I can square them up. Now, with this top board, I wanted to cut a rabbet in, And while I had the skill saw out, I just chose to use it with a chisel and a mallet. And after the rabbit was cut, it was time to glue up the legs to the top. I used some angle clamps that I had bought, some 90-degree angle clamps, and those helped tremendously. The link for them will be in the description. Once I verified these legs were square, I took a 5/8 spade bit and drilled holes for dowels to go in to help strengthen that joint, along with align the legs, keep them straight. I wasn't thinking about keeping the leg clamped to the table when I put those 90-degree clamps on. And as drilling the holes, I was just pushing the leg down, so I ended up having to put bar clamps on it to raise it up. I should have knew better, but it happens from time to time. And when I glued the other side, I did not have another set of those 90-degree clamps, and I didn't want to take them off the first side. So I ended up taking a couple 5-foot bar clamps and stretching them across from one leg to another and using that to help get the second leg on that 90-degree plane as well. And then the next day, again, where it's cold, I let that glue dry, and I took my flush trim handsaw and I cut the excess of those pegs off. Now, that is something that is something I wish I bought a long time ago, was a flush trim handsaw. It does such quick work, and it don't scar up or anything, the tabletop, so it's a very wise purchase. And once all the pegs were cut, I took a flush trim router bit in my trim router and used it to straighten up those ends of the tabletop, and it made quick work of it. Also, after I got them cut, I put a 5/16 roundover bit in the same trim router and climbed up on top of my workbench, which sometimes, again, that happens. Used it on every straight edge on that table. I put a decent roundover. I didn't want to go too big with a roundover, but also didn't want to go too small. And I think 5/16 was a good size on it. I want to be able to show the beefiness of that tabletop and those legs and not try to take away from it. Just have it a nice smooth roundover, just break the edges. I think 5/16 has a good flow with it. So and that's all there is to it, to a foyer table. This is 8/4 ash, and usually 8/4 ash, you'll plane it down to 1.5 inches. I took this to 1 3/4 to make it look a little more beefier. You know, there's nothing in the middle, so therefore it gives it like a more solid type of look. My customer wants special walnut stains. We're using Minwax special walnuts. Very pretty stains if you've never used it. And this is actually the second foyer table I made for this customer. The first one didn't go over too well with them. It was miscommunication between the customer and myself. So we made this one, and they seem to like this one pretty well. Now, the first one is not a complete waste, because I'm making a trestle table for the same customers, made out of ash, so be on the lookout for that. I can use that old table, cut it up in pieces for some of the smaller pieces, plane it down to the 1.5 inches, and it'll take all that finish and stain and everything off of it to basically take it down to bare wood, and I can use it in small pieces and then just put stain over top of it, or however they're wanting to do about it. So be on the lookout for that. It should be in the near future. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put some stain on this. If y'all seen any tools in here, any newer tools, I've actually started a affiliate with Amazon. So all I do is, when you see the tool in the video that I bought off Amazon, I put down in the link down in the description of the video. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. You find something that you like or interested in, hey, check it out. That trim router I used, first time I used that, I absolutely love that trim router already. I wish I bought it sooner. I've been using my big plunge router. In some instances, it's just too awkward. That trim router is awesome for that. Those angle clamps, you saw those red angle clamps in the side. I should have bought two packs of those. I just bought the 1-pack, but that was amazing how it held such a long span square. I can't say I was unbelieved, but I unbelieved. That ain't right. But anyways, I was really impressed with those as well. I did use, I don't even know if I caught it on camera, when I was joining the edges, I brought some precision squares. Mainly machinists use them. I know that, but I have used them and seen other people use them in woodworking, so I bought a pack and tried them out. I really like how they hold up. They're perfectly square. You know, there's no guesswork, no play in them. So, you know, that was a good purchase. I use my Holdfast here. Be on the lookout for those. I use those in just about every single video. It seems like those are awesome. While I was drilling holes in one part, if you see, I had down here in my dog holes, I had bench dogs in there, basically keeping the table from moving. So, you know, that was a good call, good purchase. I could have used the Holdfast and just turn them around backwards. That way you had more space. I just not actually thought of that. But either way, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. You know, give me a like, subscribe, comments, you know, questions. Anything you feel like you want to talk about, hey, put it down in there. We'll talk about it. You know, I may not read them all. I'm sorry, that's a lie. I may not respond to them all, but I do read them all. So, you know, y'all have a good day. God bless, and try to stay warm. This whole project, it's been below freezing here in Kentucky, so, you know, try to stay warm in the coming days, as we're about to get snow again. Y'all have a good one.